Welcome to today's episode of Going Live Anyway. I am bloody shattered. Really tired today. How about you? How are you feeling? Are you tired? Are you happy it's the weekend? Are you sad? Are you scrabbling to get stuff done? What is your vibe today? I actually don't know where we're live as well. Oh, everywhere. We're live everywhere. Okay, let's put this into the Rebellious Business Network Facebook group, which, if you didn't know, is the place where all the cool people on the internet hang out. Basically, every business owner that considers themselves to be a bit of a rebel needs to come and join the Rebellious Business Network. I forgot what it was called then. Lost that word. Yes, I am tired. Arlo had me up half the night. Okay, he woke up twice and he was quite good. He went back to sleep after some milk. He was all right, but I'm tired. It's just chronic exhaustion at this point, you know? It is tiring. But yeah, let me know how you're feeling. Also, if you're watching this on the replay, drop me a hashtag replay. Or if you're feeling a bit sprightly, drop it in the chat like Rihanna, pond a replay. I literally get that song in my head every time I'm like hashtag replay. And then I say pond the replay and I'm like groaning in my head at myself because it's just so dad jokey to come out with stuff like that. But never mind. There we go. It's what makes me me, isn't it? Okay, so if you're here with me live, let me know. Pop a little message in. I want this to be interactive. Drop comments in the chat for me so that we can have a little chin wag. Today's question comes from one of our new rebels, Charlotte. Welcome to the Rebellious Business Network, Charlotte Louise. She has asked, what is better, online networking or offline networking? So first, before I go in and unpack this, I want you to share your 2 cents. This is such a good subject, actually. It normally gets people like passionately ranting. And we find this on our ads as well. Like people love to share their opinion at why they think online networking is not as good as offline networking. And then there's usually like the online networking crew backing up why they think that online is better. So I would love your opinion. What do you think? Do you an offline networking person, like real events, real people in the room with you, or are you an onliner? You prefer to just get in there, get out, have your conversations, be able to do it from anywhere, connect internationally and nationally. Like, what is it that you prefer? I'm going to share my opinion and also my strategic thought on this. I think obviously you are going to know that I'm going to be saying I love an online network because it's what we do. We run online networks. But yeah, hey, Craig. I can see that Craig is joining us over on LinkedIn 2 days in a row. What is this? Well, it's obviously a good time of day for you, Craig. It is obviously a good time of day for you. Welcome. Good to have you here. Craig, I want to hear your opinion on networking. Are you online, offline, or do you just hate networking? Maybe you don't like networking at all. You're like, yeah, I kind of avoid both. I'm not really a networking kind of person. Who knows? Let me know what your thoughts are. I would love to hear from you. But yes, so anyway, great question from Charlotte. And I would say that it's not necessarily about which one is better overall. It's about what's better for you and how you use it. I'm a strategy person. I like to think and come up with great strategic, I didn't need to turn that into something else, just strategy. I'm tired, sorry. I'm a strategy person. I like to come up with strategies for things. And I think that there is a lot more that we can do with online networking in terms of coming up with strategic plays that we can put into place. And I'll be honest, though, one of the reasons why I feel that online is a really great option is because I don't have much time to play with. I don't really have time to get on a bus. I never get on a bus, to get in the car. I really am tired. What the hell? I should have done a half an hour like conversation warm up with someone before I went live. It's like the first conversation I'm having today and my brain is a bit dead. But anyway, so the time saved with online is great for me because I used to find it took me half a day. Like I would drive, at this point I was living in the countryside as well, just to add to the length of time it would take. But I would drive to a networking event, be there for a couple of hours, drive back, and I've lost half a day. And I'm also now a bit tired because they're usually in the morning, right? And so that's my most optimal time for getting stuff done. Would you believe it? This brain dead morning that's happening. But essentially, if I'm going out networking, it might be hit and miss. Like I might go and then I've only met like one person or maybe no one that's a good fit, and I've spent a morning doing stuff that isn't productive. However, on the plus side, it got me out the house, got me connecting with real people in real spaces in the real world. And it did contribute to me building a really nice little audience so that when we launched the Rebellious Business Network, I actually had been networking. I knew some people locally that then came and joined the network. Locally is another key word as well. Instead of just rattling all this off, though, I'm going to go to my notes and create a bit of structure. So here's my list of what I feel is powerful with online and what it's got going for it. And I'm going to share some things that maybe you haven't even thought about. Maybe these things are like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. It's a really good idea. And it's a really good point. So the first one is generally you've got a lot more people to choose from. So if you're networking locally, that means that you need to go to a local networking event and network with people that are in the same area as you. Now, that is perfect if you have a local business. If you're a plumber, if you're a decorator, if you're a not graphic designer, a blooming, what's it called? A garden designer. Bloody hell, I've forgotten the word. Help me out, guys. Give me some great businesses that are local and need local people, right? Then local networking is going to be perfect because you've got a high concentration of people in your local area. If you go to an online network, you're going to have a low concentration of people in your local network, unless it's an online networking event for a specific area, right? So the Rebellious Business Network, we've got people all over the country. Now, for me and for a lot of our rebels in the group, like that is perfect because we don't have like postcode problems in terms of who our client needs to be. We work with people nationally, even internationally, although the Rebellious Business Network is mainly people in the UK. Landscaper, thank you, Sufyan. I've probably completely butchered your name. I'm really sorry, but thank you for helping me out there. Not a garden designer, a landscaper. Exactly, and there's loads. And that one came to mind actually because I had a landscaper leaflet come through the door this morning. I still can't remember the bloody word. So local is good for that. But if you've got an online business and it doesn't matter, you work online and it doesn't matter where your client is located, then online gives you a better reach, right? And you get to choose who you connect with by finding niche pockets of people. So for instance, let's say you want to find a very specific audience, mums or business owners who are mums, right? There isn't a local networking event that's business owners who are mums. There's a national one that have local pockets, but there isn't like, 4N is not business owners who are mums, nor is BNI. All these big networks that have offline, they're not that specific. They're just business owners. So if you want something a bit more niche, then you can find it in the online space and find a higher concentration of your ideal client in that group. And that's going to be really, really good because it means that you can connect with more of the people that are right for what it is that you do. So you've got a bit more control, right? Because you can find people that could be from everywhere, but they are all similar because they have something relatable with each other, right? And that's one of the great things about the internet is that we find communities can get really niche. And this is something we would not have had like 150 years ago. Not even that, but we'll go that far back. Why not? In terms of, you were stuck with the people that you could connect with locally. And that meant that often you were a minority. Now you could find niche pockets of people. I mean, I'm talking to I've got a call at 9:30 with this guy who wants to build the most coolest community going. And it's for adults for the Peter Pans, adults that still think they are kids and still think they're children and love to play. And he's building a community for those guys. I mean, that is going to attract people nationally, maybe even internationally. But what it's going to create is a community of people that all identify with that message. And you don't get that in local networks. So the niche element is really powerful, because if you've got a specific person that you work with, or a specific, type of person, or a specific problem that they encounter, or a specific passion that they have, you can go find networks that have high concentrations of those people. The second thing is that there's no 30-minute small talk traps. If you go to offline networking events, right, you can accidentally get cornered by by some guy called Barry, who just really wants to tell you about all this stuff, and he's talking your ears off for half an hour, 45 minutes, and it's really hard to get away from him. And there's someone over there that you really want to speak to. She's perfect for you, but you can't get to her because you've got Barry here telling you all about what's going on with his cobblers. That can be really difficult, and it can be really hard to break away from conversations that aren't productive. Whereas online, it's a bit easier because it's got a bit of a faster turnaround. Like if I'm putting you in the breakout rooms, you've got 15 minutes and we're coming back out. Whereas in offline networking, unless you've got some system like speed networking system, it's really hard to make sure you are working the room and moving around and getting to speak to who you want to. And you may actually leave the event not having spoken to who you wanted to because the time runs out and you got cornered by Barry. No offense if your name's Barry, is the name that came to mind. Anyway, moving on. So no 30-minute small talk traps. You've got more control over who you find, and it saves you shitloads of time because you're not got the commute. You're a one and done. You can rock up to the networking event. You can, turn up, leave, hour. You haven't got the commute to the laptop unless you live in a 10-story house and you left your laptop in the basement. You're good. What that also means is if you need to recharge in your own space between doing things, you could just shut the lid afterwards. You can't do that physical networking. You've got to walk out and be in the real world or whatever. But after online networking, you can decompress. You can just close the laptop, go and make a coffee, be in your own space. I personally really like that. I'm like an introverted extrovert. I get my kick from people. I really do. Sorry, we've got low battery. I'm wondering if that will charge it. I've got the mic plugged in with. Okay, that's charging. So if you're a bit of an introvert and you need your own space, it can be quicker for you to have an energy turnaround after events. Guys, if you're watching, share with me what your favourite thing is about offline or online, and I want to hear your argument on which one is better. Craig is saying, online is great, but relationship goes deeper, quicker offline. I completely agree. I really do. Unless you're really good at creating deep relationships fast, offline is going to work better for you there. And it's always going to be better in comparison for sure. I mean, I think in terms of having some strategies in place and some ways you can deepen that relationship quicker, I've always found it works really well for me online. Actually, I feel more comfortable. It's really bad. It's probably because I've been doing it for so long. I get less social anxiety when I network online than I do if I network offline. If I'm in a physical room, I'm normally staring at a screen. So I'm not normally got an eye contact situation, but I can get in my own head about eye contact. I'm like, am I staring at people too much? Am I not looking at them enough? And then I can get in my own head and end up a bit anxious. Oh God. So yeah, I find online helps me with that. Sophiana's saying networks differ from places to places. It's so true. It is. And that if you've got more of them that you can choose from, then you can find one that really works for you. I think that we want to find a network that's got 1,000 odd people in it at least, and build an audience in there by showing up a lot and being a pillar of that community. You're going to end up getting a lot more potential clients and followers and leads, etc., from being there than you are if you just skim the top of every single one and rock up and connect with one or two people at every networking event. If you find one that's got more than 1,000 people in it and you become a pillar of that community, man, you can do so much better. And that is what I did with 2 communities prior to the Rebellious Business Network. It's actually one of the ways in which I got clients. I just became a pillar of that community. I showed up, I did trainings, I was there, I was a member, I was a real part of that club. And it did me really well, because I was connecting with lots of people, and I was helping lots of people, and they were coming to me, and I was signing lots of clients as a result, without actually pitching, because I was just attracting people because of that. Okay. Another thing with online networking is it's a lot more of a cleaner flow to like following up on social media, getting connected on social media, adding people into your algorithm and that kind of thing. I find that flow is really nice, but really it just depends on what your strategy is. You want to have a strategy when you go networking. You want to have a process, like how do you follow up? What's the lead magnet you're offering? How are you using it to build your list? How are you using it to populate your social media accounts? You want to really have a strategy in place for that, so that you can be really getting good results from networking. Okay, and then in terms of in-person networking, well, obviously being in person with someone, being able to share their presence and see their body language, and really be with that person in real life, it is, as Craig has pointed out, going to create a deeper relationship. It's just that, I would say you're probably going to connect with, you're going to make less of them. So you'll have higher quality connections, but less of them. And with online networking, you can have more shallow connections, but more of them. And, it depends whether you're wanting to have what do you want to prioritize? Do you want to prioritize high quality and a few, or like lower quality and more? And I still think you can create really high quality connection online, because I've done it. I've been doing it for years, and I've got really great connections with our audience. And I know that it can be done, but it's a fish out of water for some, and it's going to take practice, and it's going to take you having a method, and being able to, do that well is going to come with time. So that is, obviously the deeper connections, deeper conversations, the deeper relationships is the biggest benefit. Also, using it to get you out of the house, using it to get you in the real world. We are in this digital world a little bit too much sometimes, so it is really, really good for that. I mean, I think the real power, to be honest, is knowing how to connect, not just where to connect and in what format. You can use both, but use them well. I mean, online is great for starting to really build your audience, being able to find your people, and being able to find people in a bit more scale. In person, to deepen those relationships and keep you out there in the real world connecting. And there we go. But I would love to hear what you think. Oh, Sufyan's saying quality over quantity. And I agree with you in most cases, but not necessarily one of the things, I have a lady I was talking to yesterday, and she's getting a trickle of clients. So she needs to increase the number of leads she's getting. She needs to increase her audience size. And in that, it does become a numbers game with a number of people that know you and know who you are. So sometimes it's quantity over quality in when it comes to building an audience, because you can't we've got at the moment 7,000 people on our email list. I'm never going to be able to have a deep relationship with all of them, right? It's just not going to be conducive. At the beginning, when I was first starting out like that, it was really powerful to have deeper connections with a small number of people, because they became the bedrock of what is now our audience. And we've still got those people in our audience, people like Nicola Howard, John Denley, Jules. Oh my gosh, I could name so many that have been in the network since the beginning, and they really are like the founding members that helped get the word out and get this thing started. At that point, the quality is really powerful and really important. And yeah, it seems like Sufyan is agreeing. Exactly. I love it. I love your name as well, by the way. Cool. I think then that might be a wrap. If you're watching this on the replay, drop your 2 cents. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you an in-person or an online? And if you say in person, definitely. Have you tried enough online? Have you come to the Rebellious Business Network? Come to us, see what you think. We're also changing up the network a little bit. We've got some things that we're doing and that we're bringing into the network to kind of to ground it back into how we were doing it originally and make it more community focused. and prioritize the returners and keeping variety. So we've got some really good plans with the network. You must come back if you've been before. Come and hang out with us. We had such a lovely time yesterday. We did this thing where we just basically left it open for people to chat at the end as well, which was really lovely. And it was honestly just such a great environment. Our branding attracts the coolest people, rebels, honestly. Who wouldn't want to hang out with rebels? They are so much fun. But yeah. Right. Well, there we are. That is a wrap. I will see you on Monday morning for another episode of Going Live Anyway. I hope you have a killer weekend. It's my son's 10th birthday tomorrow. So we're going to go swimming and we've got picnics planned and lots of fun stuff happening this weekend at Rebellious HQ. I hope you have a wonderful one and I will speak to you soon. Thanks for being with me here on the live. And if you're on the replay,